University, where faith and knowledge unite.
Have you ever heard someone say they're going to the powder room only to see them head to the bathroom? Well, today we'll look at the origins of that phrase and another saying that's connected to it. What in the word?
Nowadays, powder room just refers to a small bathroom, usually with only a toilet and a sink, unlike a full bathroom, which includes a tub or shower. And the powder room is often in an accessible part of the home, so guests can use it without entering private rooms. But back in the 1500s, a powder room was a very literal name for that room, a place you would go to powder your nose, or your wig. Adding powder gave wigs a fresh, off-white look. The powdery substance varied, but most often it was ground up clay, chalk, or flour. Wigs have been around for thousands of years and had various purposes. In ancient Egypt, they protected people's heads from the hot desert sun. The Greeks and Romans used wigs as both a fashion statement and a way to cover greasy, smelly hair. England's Queen Elizabeth I owned more than 80 bright red wigs. But it was King Louis XIII of France that really put wigs in the spotlight. He popularized them out of necessity. At the age of 23, he was already going bald, which was a big problem.
Hey!
No, don't be offended, Nick. At that time, having a full head of well-groomed hair was a sign of wealth and power. And as king, Louis didn't want to seem vulnerable in front of his subjects, so he picked out a very opulent wig. His example kicked off a fashion craze. The bigger the wig, the more money you appeared to have. That's where we got the phrase bigwig. The bigwigs in a company are the top decision makers, who also make the most money.
I know what I need to do.
In 1795, British Parliament passed the Duty on Hair Powder Act, which required people who weren't members of the royal family, the military, or the clergy to buy a certificate in order to buy wig powder. It cost the equivalent of $130 today. People didn't want to pay, and it ultimately ended wig fashion. And now, a powder room is a vintage phrase that's almost entirely disappeared with a poof.
What in the word? If you like that story, do me a favor, tap the like and subscribe button below. And if you really liked it, check out the full show free for a week. Just head over to worldwatch.news/free video.